All right, Shalom. Giving all praise, going on to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rabbi Kakodash. Double orange to the apostles, great millstone, do it well. Peace, love, and blessings also to you, brothers on the highways and byways, giving all diligence to make your call and election sure. Also, blessings to very few sisters out there listening, learning, and believing. All right, I'm that fellow Kanakla coming at you once again. Another lesson, Lord's will through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shai Shai. This lesson is edifying and exhorting. And through the spirit, I was inspired by a beloved brother of mine in the camp, Kwam Yashala. He did a response to this Whole Food situation. And I'm going to just get right into it, straight to the point, because if not, this lesson will be very long. But real fast, Whole Foods, as you see right here, Amazon will soon let you pay for groceries with your palm at any Whole Foods. All right. And this was 3 days ago. So this is current events, current news. And this lines up exactly with biblical prophecy. Okay. So let's read a little bit. It says, in the near future, you'll be able to purchase things with a swipe of your hand. Pay by palm is already available at over 200 Amazon-owned Whole Food Market stores across the country. And by year end, all 500 plus stores throughout the U.S. will offer the payment option according to a July 20 press release. Okay. There's already videos surfacing of this event taking place. Okay, I saw a lady do this in the video. Basically, she waved her hand across the scanner and it basically scanned her biometrics. Okay, and where does this line up with biblical prophecy? Let's get it real fast. As it said, by swiping your hand. And we here at Great Millstone, we're always pushing it, starting with the elders on down. Elders of Great Millstone down. Revelation 13 and 16, this is our favorite topic. Okay, we can basically read the scripture, if not mention it every video, every lesson. All right, because this is a very important scripture, very important prophecy. This is Revelation 13 and 16, and this is this beast, ultimately Esau, the elite banking families. Okay, this beast system, NATO, the EU, this whole European power structure, if you will, that you see today. It says, and he calleth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that word mark in the Greek is charagma. You go into the root word, is charax. We'll just get it real fast because it may be your first time watching this. But this has been broken down millions of times. But hey, this is what we do. Okay, we're going to this charax. A pale or stake of palisade. The point is in the Strong's definition. To sharpen to a point, akin, the idea of scratching, to take, i.e. by implication. All right. So you go into basically RFID implants. Just simply look it up on YouTube. RFID chip implants. Okay. And in order for that process to happen, for them to implant that device, that chip underneath your skin, that I believe it's called an epidermic needle, has to scratch your skin, basically cut. When you scratch, it's a cut. It's going, when you get a scratch, the top part of your skin is missing. All right. So that needle scratches your skin and inserts that device underneath your skin. All right. And that's going to have all your, basically going to be like a debit card, if you will, credit card. But it's going to include your ID, your information, everything about you. So when John saw it, basically he described it as the best way he could. And you look at a pale or a stake. A pale or a stake is basically sharpened wood that is sharpened to a point. So needles was not around during his time period. So he described according to the objects in the current era that he was living in. Okay? And today, with the wisdom that the Lord has bestowed upon us, we see what matches up with what he's talking about. And in verse 17 is the point. What will you be able to buy and sell with? It says that no man might be able to buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the name of his name. So you're not going to be able to buy or sell. So Whole Foods, they're just ahead of the curve, if you will. Okay? Soon all stores will adopt this way of life, all right? Because this is his, as it says, and he calls it all. This is his ultimate plan. Esau, Edom, the banking elites. Okay? And you're not going to be able to buy or sell. So this is what you call, as Yahushua spoke in the spirit here, Revelation 3:10. All right? Because thou hast kept the word of my patience. All right, since you have kept my command to endure patiently, all right, talking about this ministry. All right. Scriptures say when you come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. It says, I also will keep thee, since we came and served the Lord, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them the will upon the earth. So the global market is going to crash. The U.S. dollar, which is the reserve currency, basically what all the countries use, is going to crash, is going to collapse, it's going to become worthless. And this digital system is going to replace it. Okay, so it's going to try the whole world. Revelation 3:10, since you have kept my command, in the NIV, New International Version, since you have kept my command to endure patiently, I also will keep you from the hour of trial that is going to come on the whole world to test the inhabitants of the earth. Okay, so this is a trial. All right, when you go on trial, you go to court, you're on trial. You're going to be tried whether you're guilty or not. So we're going to be tried. Okay, so that being said, especially those that just came into the faith, right? And also, exhortation, a faith booster for us that's in the know. We're going to need a miracle, okay? Because you're going to go to the store without that chip. You're probably not even going to be able to enter into the store without that chip. The doors aren't going to open. It's basically there will be no need for cashiers, etc. All right, and then the doors are modern doors are like motion censored, where basically you walk to the doors and some motion sensor up there, and then the doors slide open. Most stores are modern stores. So just going to replace that technology with a chip reader. Is it going to open up if that individual has a chip? So basically, we're going to need a miracle. Because how are you going to eat? All right, so miracle at an online etymology, a wondrous work of the Most High. Miracle, story of a miracle. And the Bible is full of those. And we're going to get a few of those. It says object of wonder. All right, because it's going to be a wonder, like how was this, how is these men able to eat? Because the Lord said, my servants shall eat. So it's going to be a wonder, how are these men able to eat without confirming to the ways of the king, all right, to the ways of society, all right. Marvelous event caused by God to wonder at, marvel, be astonished, figuratively to regard its esteem. Wonderful, astonishing, amazing. Let's get to the point. Something that excites or wonder or astonishment, extraordinary or remarkable feat. All right, without regard to divinity or supernatural power. All right, a wonder. Basically, power. Okay. So if you read through the scriptures, as it said, miracle, a story of a miracle play. That's what's gonna happen. That's what you're gonna need is a miracle. So let's go to the account, 1 Kings of the prophet Elijah. Okay, it's like in Old Testament. First Kings, the prophet Elijah, 1 Kings 17. Elijah predicts drought. All right, because why? Pre is before. That's what prophets do. They speak before things happen. So we're speaking before this takes place, okay? Right now, the chip isn't made mandatory. And technically, right now, you don't need it. It's just scanning your biometrics. It's just scanning the, I guess, your biometrics, you know, like a fingerprint. They say everybody has a unique fingerprint. No, there's no fingerprints the same, which is how they're able to solve crimes, all right, based off fingerprints, because you have your unique fingerprint. So it's basically scanning your biometrics right now, okay? But the point is to tag you, to mark you. That's what the word mark, to brand you as you belong to him, is a sign of ownership. He owns you once he tagged you, like a dog tag. You tag your animals, okay? So it says, 1 Kings 17:1, Elijah the Tishbite, and I'm not going to read this whole thing. This whole chapter is beautiful. All right, but I'm going to just get a part of the miracle that took place. It says, Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, as the Lord God of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew. So this is him prophesying, all right, of a drought. There shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word. And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto him, saying, get thee hence, and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there. So the ravens are birds, man. Okay? The Lord said, I have commanded the ravens to feed thee. So that's a miracle. You got to understand, all right? We're talking about, you know, those of you just coming to this thing and, you know, you're lacking faith. Basically, this world has, you know, made things like this incident here impossible. It don't exist. They call it nonfiction or fairy tale. Ravens feeding you, you know, commanded, the God commanded, but we gotta understand what we're dealing with. If you believe they're a God, you gotta understand the first principle. You know, I'm just speaking on a broad sense. When I say a first principle, is basically, if he's God, he's the creator. So we're talking about a being, all right? And I use that term loosely. We're talking about a being that spoke and things became into existence, okay? So for him to command an animal to feed you, you gotta understand that's light. That's a light. If nothing was there and he spoke and then something appeared, what more of him commanding or giving a speech of something that's already here to carry out a task, all right, for you? You gotta, you know, that's where faith comes in. You believe in that he's God. Well, it's the first principle that, well, nothing is impossible, as it says in Luke. Well, all things are possible with the Most High. Okay? He's not limited. We can't limit it to the Most High. Anything's possible. You talking about science, all that stuff is confounded. Okay? All the stuff we're talking about God, he's not subject to the laws of physics, to gravity. Okay? He's not subject to any of those things. He's beyond those things. He created those things. All right? He set the bounds of those things. He set the foundation of those things. Like Elder Gabar said recently, we talking about the Ancient of Days, who created the concept of time. Okay? He created the concept of time because time is based off, it starts with the sun and the moon. So if he created that, as it said, a greater light to govern the day and a lesser light to govern the night, if he created that, means he existed outside of time. He created the concept of time. Come on, man. That's what we're talking about here. So for him to feed you in a time of trouble when you can't go to Esau's stores, you can't be a part of the system. Come on, this is what we're talking. These are the things that are going to take place. So this is what you have to believe, that this just isn't a fairy tale. This is history recorded. All right. It says, so he went and did according unto the word of the Lord. So he didn't question it. He just went right along with it. He did according to the word of the Lord. So likewise, we got to do this in these times. That's where faith comes in at. So we're going to come back to 1 Kings 17 and 5. We're going to come back to that. Let me mark that. So we can come back to that point. Because this lesson going to be long. Try not to make it long, but, it is what it is. 1 Kings 17 and 5. So we're going to go from there to Hebrews 11. And that's exactly what faith is. Okay? Faith is a word. It exists. So according to the scriptures, this is what faith. Now faith, Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That's in the NIV. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for the assurance about what we do not see. All right. So faith is the substance of things hoped for. So we don't know how the Most High is going to provide us. We'll read now. In 1 Kings with Elijah, we're reading an account how it's possible for the Most High to do anything in a time of a drought. Okay, so we don't know exactly how he's going to do it. Okay, but we hope. So that's what faith is. We hope the Lord is going to feed us in these times when you can't go to none of these food markets if you don't have that device. But we hope the Lord is going to feed us. It says, for by it the elders obtain a good report. And NIV says this is what the ancients were commended for. Okay, the ancients were commended for because they believed in the Most High. All right, consider Abraham who trusted in the Most High. Verse 3. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High, so that the things which are seen were not made of the things which do appear. So nothing that you see here, all right, on the planet Earth, if you can receive it, made what you see here. All right, it was created by something outside of what you see. As it says, through faith we understand the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High. Why? Because nobody was there to witness it. Even today's scientific world, they just have theories. Okay, they wasn't there. Okay, they were not there. So you have, and to believe science, you gotta have faith, because they wasn't there. Okay, but they say, oh, well, we have evidence. Well, the evidence is the word. That's how the worlds were made. All right. As I say, that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High. With the word of the Most High, which is a parable within itself, that's talking about Yahweh Shai. All right, the world was made by Yahweh Shai and the angels. Okay, so we wasn't there to see the creation. Okay, well, if you part of 144,000, you were there, but in this time, meaning this life you were born, you didn't see the world created. Okay, but we have the history or the word, Genesis 1, and it explains it. Okay, so you gotta believe, you gotta have faith. Hey, that's how it was formed. All right, so let's jump from there to verse 6. It says, but without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, which that is what the Most High names mean. Yahweh. Yah meaning he is, he to be, he exists, he is, that's his name. He is. He just is, he just exists. All right, no beginning, no end. He just is. This is the Most High. All right, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. All right, so the Lord is going to reward those that diligently seek him. Let's go to verse 7, and then we'll go back to 1 Kings. Hebrews 11:7, by faith, and this is a good example, Noah, being warned of the Most High of things not seen as yet. So Noah was warned by the Most High that he was going to flood the earth, that it was going to rain. It had never rained in that time period. Okay? That's first. But it had not started raining. He had to build the ark first. Then it started. Okay? So this is high level faith that Noah had. First, the first principle, it never rained before. The dew of the earth was which is what watered the herbs, or the ground, if you will. So it never rained before, ever. And then it hadn't happened yet. So this is what faith is. Okay? This is what faith is. So when they make this thing mandatory, right? Lord willing, we don't take it. And we're going to go into this time of tribulation. All right. Not being fed yet. Okay. But hoping that we will be. That's the point. By faith, Noah, being warned of God of things seen not as yet. This is what faith is. The substance of things hoped for. So he hoped. Moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house. Because he hoped what? That him and his house would be saved. That he would be saved from the judgment that was coming upon, the death that was coming upon the world. By the which he condemned the world, and so he prophesied. All right, he was out there prophesying. You read it in Genesis 6, I believe, that the Most High was the thought every man was wicked. So he was out there prophesying, condemning them, rebuking them, telling them how wicked they were, saying that the flood is coming for all the wickedness. He didn't go into exact details of what he was saying, but put it together. This is by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness, which is by faith. So this will make you righteous, is your faith in the Most High. All right, as the scriptures say, Abraham believed it on the Most High and it was counted unto him for righteousness. Why? Because the law wasn't yet established until Moses came, and Abraham came before Moses. All right. So by faith, that's what makes you righteous. So let's go. That's what faith is, man. So let's go back to 1 Kings 17:5. 1 Kings 17:5 says, so he went and did according unto the word of the Lord, for he went and dwelt by the brook Cherith that is before Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. And it came to pass after a while that the brook dried up, because there had been no rain in the land. All right. And you can keep reading this. It's a very beautiful part, how a woman was basically commanded to sustain him. And it's another part, but I just wanted to hit this part of this lesson. It'd be way too long. Let's go real quick, and we'll close out with this with Yahushua. St. John, the 6th chapter. All right, where Yahushua is, you see the heading, 5,000 fed. John 6:1, it says, after these things, Yahushua went over to the Sea of Galilee, which is the Sea of Tiberias. And once again, it's about faith. You can't sitting here, be thinking in your head, oh man, that's the Bible. I've heard this many times. The Bible is the greatest storybook ever written. So they look at it as a novel or a non-fiction story, like these things didn't take place. Oh man, that was the greatest storybook ever written. I've heard that so many times. And what that is indicating is that that's a lack of faith. You truly don't believe the scriptures. Okay, You don't believe it. They said, you know, man, I don't want to dig in. It's just a lack of faith. You don't believe, man. Okay? That's what it all is when people say such things. Because you got to think about it. What's the only logical? People like to deal with logic, right? And science, logic. What's the logic behind this? Logically, look what happened with Bill Gates, right? Bill Gates. The elites basically took over all the farmland. Okay? They took over everything, all the resources. They bought everything out during 2020 with the pandemic. Okay? And in modern society, you were not taught how to farm. All right? The traits of fishing. None of those things are priorities. What's a priority? Go to school, go to college, get a job. You get money, you go to the supermarket. That's the way of life. Me, I don't know how to farm. I live in an apartment. I don't have a fucking yard to plant seeds if I wanted to. Okay? Most of us are renting. We're not homeowners. This is a position that Jake is and the Israelites are in, you so-called Negroes, Latinos. This is the positions that we're in. Where the scriptures said, called us a worm. We don't have nothing. Okay? So the logical explanation is a miracle. It's for divine intervention, divine power. In situations like this. Impossible situations. But what with the Most High, all things are possible. John 6:2, and a great multitude followed him because they saw his miracles. Once again, miracles, divine power, which he did on them that were diseased. So he healed. One of the descriptions that was given for miracles is they use the word miracle drug. Why? Because you're sick or whatever the case may be, and you take that drug and it's so-called, you were feeling so terrible, now you feel better. All right, which is side effects to all that BS anyways. But the point being, that's an example. Called a miracle drug. It just heals you, just makes you recover. It says, and Yahushua went up into a mountain, and there he sat with his disciples. And a Passover, a feast of the Jews, was nigh, and it's a solemn feast. Okay? When Yahushua then lifted up his eyes and saw a great company came unto him, he said unto Philip, whence shall we buy bread that these may eat? Remember, buy and sell. No man might be able to buy or sell, save that he had the mark. Right? And this he said to prove him, for he himself knew what he would do. In the NIV, it expounds on this beautifully. It says, verse 6, he asked this only to test him, for he already had in mind what he was going to do. So you got to see the nature of this, right? And the Most High likes to test. Yahweh Shemi Shai, which they are one, meaning one mind, they like to test us, even though they already know what we're going to do. What are you going to do? So this is the hour of the trial of temptation. The Most High already know how he going to feed us. But he wants to test us and see what we're going to do. Are you going to wait? Or are you going to trust in Egypt? You're going to go to it and say, oh man, the Lord ain't coming. Let me just go and take this. And no, it's a test. This is that test. But the Lord say, I will keep thee. All right. Philip answered him. And the NIV expounds on this beautifully. 200 pennyworth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may take a little. NIV, Philip answered him, it will take more than a half year's wages to buy enough bread for each one to have a bite. So we don't have, basically, not having enough money is just as much as not having no money. Is the same. Simple example. The bread, a loaf of bread, let's say it costs $3. You only have $1. You still can't buy it. So not having enough is just as much as not having any. So in a time of when they make this thing mandatory, we're not gonna have the currency, which is a chip, to buy anything. It says one of his disciples answered. It's like one of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said unto him, There's a lad here which hath 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes, but what are they among so many? Here's a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish, but how far will they go among so many? And Yahushua said, Make the men sit down. Now there was much grass in the place. So the men sat down in a number about 5,000. Yahushua took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were set down, and likewise of the fishes as much as they would. When they were filled, he said to the disciples, Gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. Therefore they gathered them together and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves, which remained over and above unto them that had eaten. And those men which they had seen the miracle that Yahushua did, said, This of a truth, that prophet that should come into the world. So basically he manipulated the elements. He multiplied the elements, if you will. So it wasn't enough, but he was still able to feed 5,000. So this is as I said, they seen a miracle. So this is a miracle. This was divine power that took place to feed all these people. Okay? And like I said, they didn't have enough. So not having enough is just as much as not having none. Alright? But the miracles are going to take place. Here it is. This is your faith right here. This is what's supposed to build your faith. Reading these things and believing. So we're going to go into this time and we have to hope. Remember, faith is the substance of things hoped for. So we have to hope for miracles to take place. Hope for situations like this. Okay? So Lord's willing, man, the Lord's continue to increase our faith. And we believe unto the end. The Lord said, when I come, shall I find faith on earth. All right, so Lord willing, the Lord continues to increase our faith, to hold us, and to keep our minds in these times, man. Cast us not out of His presence, taking out His Holy Spirit away from us, and help us endure to the end. Then give all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai. Shalom to the hopeful elect.